Will the Orange and Blue fire up their engines already on this road trip? They'll try this afternoon in the Motorcity. We get you set for the Oilers and the Red Wings right here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday. Hope you had a fun Saturday, maybe even a fun Friday night. We are live on location, Boston Pizza, Clairview. Big shout out to Jason and Lisa for having us here for the first pre- and post-game show at this location. We've been here for Oil Stream afternoons, and we've had a lot of fun, and there's going to be hopefully a lot of people coming down. If you're not doing anything, you want to watch some football, obviously you can see the football on this massive screen behind me. They're going to also have the Oilers game on, and we're going to enjoy a nice little Sunday afternoon game day menu. I gotta list this off. Benny Thompson, you would love this. You would love this, Benny Thompson. Yeah. The triple play. You get cactus cuts, looks like cheesy bread, and then Dusty's favorite, I think that's spicy Thai wings or the strips.
The bites. Oh, yeah, so good.
End zone pickle wedges, which if you've had fried pickle, delicious.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can get wings for $8.75. Sweet potato fries, $5. Bandera bread, $7. Bandera bread's so good. That's on the triple plate as well. Pass, under the pass category, spin move, spin dip, $11.50. Onion rings for $9. If you want nachos always a staple, $14. And then you can add guacamole for $2.69. Ground beef, barbecue chicken, spicy chicken, barbacoa beef. Oh, man. I'm going to be eating here. I'm going to eat good. Yeah. And then you can get cactus cuts for $6.50. Touchdown Thai bites for $12.50. $7 signature cocktails, $1 off Bud and Bud Light bottles, and $7 Budweiser drafts. So a ton of great specials. And then they're also having a trip to a 2026 NFL game that they're going to be giving away this year. So you can enter to get in on that. So lots of prizing. And then I was talking to Jason, and he's been comparing notes with Curtis and Tony over at BP Westgate. And he's like, oh, I have some GCs I can give away. And I've got some stuff, some swag I can give away. So we're going to be launching that. Maybe call it a soft launch today because this is the first one here. But we have a good thing going with BP, and I'm glad that it's spreading to different locations. Benny Thompson.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds fantastic over there in Clairview. I've been there a couple times. There's a buddy lives around there, so we've been around there quite a bit, and just compete with Westgate. It's the Wear What You Win crew. Yep. I hope makes its way to Clairview as well, because it's a great tradition what they have over at Westgate, and I'm sure Clairview will kill it as we're there more often.
The boys at Westgate, Curtis and Tony, they renovated their lounge just over a year ago, I believe, and they put in the golf simulator. Obviously, that location has some unique characteristics. This one is essentially a brand new BP. Yeah. There was a fire a couple of years ago, awful, obviously. And then Jason and the crew here, they rebuilt, so it's fresh. Like the TV screens here, Benny, are phenomenal. And they have this one that they have right behind me. Seriously, like I think it's the biggest one I've seen in a bar or restaurant in this city. Wow. I'm trying to think like we know sometimes we're at Ice House, so we got a great relationship at Ice House. They have like the scoreboard TV in the middle, but this is just like massive.
Huge TV.
So awesome. Lots of TVs and really, really nice, and lots of great game day specials. So come on down. I'll be here all afternoon. Okay. GCL Diesel, we got to say, shout out to Cam and the crew at GCL Diesel for hopping on board again with us this year. They're the providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to ejectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Of course, text us, 780-218-9999. Get into the chat if you're watching on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up button. It's an early start for everybody today. I just got in from Calgary. I did keep tabs on the Oilers Devils. I was talking to Dave Moyer. Moisty is statsman extraordinaire in the CFL and NHL. He works on all the big broadcasts, and he was keeping me up to date on the Oilers game, and he wasn't too impressed with what was going on in Jersey. So I watched the first period, Benny. It didn't look – I mean, Edmonton had a lot of control of the puck from what I was watching. I was getting ready to get down to McMahon Stadium. But couldn't really generate much offensively, even though they had, I think that they're leading on the shot clock.
Yep.
They're getting a couple chances here and there, but nothing significant to think, oh boy, they're really dialed in today. And then sure enough, they cough up the lead. Hughes gets that goal. Nice play by him.
Yep.
But there's some defensive lapses from what I saw when I watched the highlights. So fill me in. What did I miss? Because I can only get so much out of the highlights, right?
Yeah. That first period is a pretty good summary. I thought their first period wasn't bad. It's just they lacked grade A chances. They had shots, but they weren't. It's all around the perimeter, right? And
right.
Reed's been talking about this with over the summer. I think he had a whole show on Oil Stream where. He says there's a goal deficit with this new Oilers team, right?
Yes.
They lost Corey Perry and Connor Brown and Skinner and Arvidsson, right? And who's going to make up that goal difference? And yesterday, the depth I thought played pretty solid, but they kind of showed that they don't have that finisher. They don't have a guy that's going to pot in some of those chances. That's going to has that ridiculous shot from. Outside the hash marks or, any of that type of stuff. So I thought Reed made a really good point on that. He was tweeting about it yesterday. But overall, just the game yesterday was disappointing. Again, this road trip has just been disappointing all in a whole. The Rangers game was lucky. The Oilers won that one. Skinner stood on his head, and we talked about that on that show. And the Islanders game, they deserved to lose that one. They did not show up to play for that one. And it was a similar effort yesterday. You look at this team as a whole group, and that's how they should be graded and how they should be treated. But everyone's going to pick and prod at who was good and who wasn't. And the guys that were bad yesterday afternoon were the top guys, the leaders.
Ooh.
They were brutal. Connor, Leon, Bush, Darnell. I don't want to throw Nuge in there. I think Nuge has been the best forward for the Oilers this year.
He sniped another one, didn't he?
He had two yesterday.
Yeah.
So he's
had a good start to his year.
He's had a pretty damn good start to his year. So I don't want to throw Nuge's name in there, but this leadership group looked brutal yesterday. There was Bouchard made a horrible mistake yesterday.
I saw that one. I was going to ask you about it.
Yeah, it was in my opinion, it was the right play to go step on that puck. It was loose. Nuge was doing a good job of holding off the guy to allow Bush to go grab it. But Bush second guessed it, half went in, half didn't, and that's what allowed the breakaway for Connor Brown. If Bouchard just goes full head first, gets the puck, he keeps that play alive, and they're still in the zone on a power play. But while that play was happening, they showed a replay. So Connor Brown goes in on the breakaway. You can see Connor. They show a replay of Connor. And he's behind.
I saw that.
Around the goal line, makes his way to the boards, and he slams the stick when Connor Brown scores. This team's frustrated. They're fighting it. There's no chemistry, and you obviously hope that changes. Playing in Motor City today against a pretty damn good team this year, at least for what the record is saying in Detroit. So, yeah, this team needs to wake up here. But once again, it's early. They most likely will figure it out. I wouldn't be panicking, but yeah, this team just doesn't look good and starts off with their leaders.
Maybe too much splendor in New York City. That shouldn't be the case. They should be dialed in. They're in Detroit now. Not as much fun to be had in Detroit. Maybe they can focus in on getting a win against a Red Wings team that's already, 4-1 this season, 3-1 on home ice. The Oil have dropped to 1-2 on the road, 2-1 overall, and we'll see if they can get to the Detroit Red Wings. Before I dive into lineups, Ben, I do want to put this one out there, and I'm glad Parkside texted this in with a great photo via the inbox 780-218-9999. There's a picture of a young goalie for the Prince Albert Raiders named Joaquin Gazzola.
Oh, no way.
I'm kidding. It's Joaquin Gage. A great photo of him in his WHL days. And Parkside adds, happy B-Day Gagers. So happy 52nd birthday to our very own Joaquin Gage. I want to give him a little bit of love here because Gager's a beauty, and a big thank you to him for filling in yesterday for Cass. He was awesome with Hernan and yourself, Benny. So Gager, happy birthday, buddy. We love you. And the crowd goes wild for Joaquin. All right. Thank you, Parkside, for sending that in. Let's dive into your starting lineups for today's action at Little Caesars Arena. This is what we're thinking is the lineup for the Oil. Fill me in, Benny. Again, I'm coming in after doing the football game yesterday, so kind of catching up. McDavid with Nugent Hopkins and Mangiapane.
Yep.
We're anticipating that. Draisaitl with Podkolzin and Kapanen. That's familiar. We've seen that line together before. And then Frederick between Savoy on the left and Roslovic on the right. And then Tomaszek at center, Henrique on the left, Lazar, who had a goal yesterday late in the game, on the right. Ekholm with Bouchard, Nurse with Stetcher, Kulak with Emerson, no Philp, no Ike. Howard.
There's new notes out.
Please
Philp
pass those along.
Philp and Howard are in.
Okay, so who's coming
and
up?
Lazar are out.
All right. Interesting. So that coming down from Chris Knobloch. He just spoke to the media in Detroit. So we'll assume Philp goes in fourth line center, and Howard would probably end up being on the left side, and then probably Savoy can slide back over to the right side. Yeah. We'll update you during warm-up and let you know what the lines look like. Do you have those? Have they been set yet or no?
The lines haven't come out. Paige Martin just tweeted out just the comments from this Chris Knobloch. Philip and Howard in, Tomaszek and Lazar out. With Tomaszek out, Savoy will be getting the bump to power play 1, and Skinner gets the start. So
Skinner gets the start. Okay, thank you to Paige Martin. Shout out to Cal in the park who just stopped by. Said hi, great to see Cal. Let's go to the Red Wings. Here's what we're anticipating from them. Dylan Larkin between Emmett Finney and Mason Appleton. Marco Casper between Alex DeBrincat and Jonathan Berggren. JT Compher between Andrew Kopp and Michael Brandseg-Nygaard. Michael Rasmussen centering James Van Riemsdyk, who's still going, and Elmer Soderblom. And then on defense, it's Ben Sherratt with Mo Seider, Simon Edvinsson with Axel Sandin Pellikka. That is like a Swedish-Finnish mix. Maybe he's from the border. That does happen. What did I call it? Cross-modernation?
Yeah.
Between the Swedes and the Finns. That does happen. That's like Magnus Pyarvi Svensson.
Yeah.
Albert Johansson with Jacob Bernard Docker. I think Cass is a big fan of Jacob Bernard Docker. Yep. And your starting goalies, you heard it. You're going to see Stu Skinner get the nod for the Oil. And we'll also see John Gibson at the other end of the rink for the Red Wings. Skinner 1-1-1, 197 goals against average, 921 save percentage. Does have that shutout he picked up on Tuesday at MSG. And then Gibson so far 1-1 on the season, 356 GAA, 867 save percentage. And we'll see how he does against the Oil today. Obviously, Gibson had a horrible start with the Red Wings his first time out, but seems to have bounced back since then. And we'll see what Gibson does versus the Oil. How was Pickard yesterday, Benny?
Really good. Really good. This was another topic yesterday about who would have thought that the Oilers' strength so far this year is their goaltending. Skinner and Pickard have looked very solid to start this year. Obviously, 5-game sample size, right? But if you eliminate the past and you eliminate the future, right? This 5-game sample, the goaltending has been very solid for the Oilers. So, and again, Pickard yesterday made some big saves, but was hung out to dry. It was just brutal mistake after brutal mistake. Guys not checking on their guys in the D zone. It was a mess. It was a bad game overall, just defensively by the team. And Pickard couldn't hold him in much longer because he was great, but just too many great A's after too many great A's, and they have some talented players over there in New Jersey. So they capitalized.
Yeah, they are a good team. That is without question. The Oilers have had some fits with the New Jersey Devils, and I'm not a big Jake Allen fan, but by all accounts, he had a pretty decent afternoon for the Devils as well. Markstrom nicked up over in Jersey, and the Oilers playing like that. And the result is a loss. So, okay, let's go to the Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy Injury Report. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists. You've got a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game at Advantage Sport Medicine. Book your assessment today, www.advantagesportmed.ca, or call 780-460-9977. For the Oilers, Zach Hyman, IR wrist. Jake Wallman, IR undisclosed. Matthias Janmark still on the IR undisclosed. And now Alec Regula has been placed on IR, safe to assume upper body, after taking a big hit from Evander Kane just over a week ago. Are you surprised, Benny, that we're not seeing Wallman and Janmark just yet? And then now the Regula injury is more severe than initially anticipated?
Yeah, it's just odd, right? Like, this started off as Wallman's going to be ready for the home opener to, we're not going to see him to the road trip. And then now we're on the road trip and we're going, okay, where is he? And Knoblauch's going, he's still not ready. And we're getting close to the end of this road trip here. So, yeah, it's odd. The Regula one doesn't surprise me. I mean, he took a hard hit from Kane. And it's, I've been a little bit critical of Stetcher this year just because I just don't think he's been great, which sucks because I really liked him last year. But they do have guys that have played in the NHL to fill in for Regula, who I expect to make the roster full time when he's healthy. So they can take their time with Regula since they have Stetcher and Emerson there. And then the Janmark one, I'm still not very sure with what's going on with him. Like, there hasn't really been comments about him. And you expect him to come in soon here. Like, you would think they'd have him on like long-term IR if he was long-term, but like, it seems like he's right around playing, but just hasn't gotten the lineup yet. So, I don't know. I think they're taking their time. They want to make sure they're not rushing anyone. So, I'm always all for that.
Okay, well, there is the injury report on the Oilers side of things. Let's look at the Red Wings right now. They have a few injuries themselves and some significant ones. Patrick Kane, upper body, crashed hard into the boards the other night. And then Lucas Raymond, day-to-day undisclosed. Shai Byam, IR undisclosed. And Nate Danielson, IR undisclosed. That is your Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy injury report. So for the Oil, Hyman, Wallman, Janmark, and Regula. Red Wings, Kane, Raymond, Byam, and Danielson out today. Let's get to your text, 780-218-9999. And then, of course, you can hop into the nasty chat. Let's look at this one. Petter's Pancake says, goalies have been fine so far. It is the 10 bell giveaways and blunders that have been killing them, and they just have not found that chemistry and scoring touch yet. Supersized Indiana Jones seconding that, says goaltending has not been a problem this year. And then Derek Robertson says Tomaszek's skating is not at the pro level, unfortunately. I know that was a talking point. I remember Dusty watched all of his highlights from the SHL, and he's like, great finish, great shot. Maybe a half step behind, big guy, but he doesn't have like that quick jump and pace to his skating. Like, he gets there, but it's kind of lumbering. And I mean, I don't know. I was pleasantly surprised with Tomaszek.
Me too.
In preseason, he got some results. I was happy with him for the first couple of games, and maybe they're just trying to switch it up right now. So we'll see. We'll definitely get him back in the lineup, and maybe he'll have a different perspective on the game if he sees one from up top. And then also probably wanting, like, I'm assuming Chris Knoblauch wants to keep some guys fresh and make sure that everybody's getting incorporated into the lineup. Now, I want to look at the time on ice distribution yesterday. Benny, off the top of your head, did anything stand out to you in that game? Because remember, we were talking on Thursday after the Islanders game, like, there was that huge discrepancy. There was like 4 or 5 forwards that played, like, obviously McDavid, Draisaitl were around 25 minutes each, and Nugent Hopkins was 20. And then that night, I think Mangiapane was at 17, and then you have to go down to Roslovic next at 13, and then everybody else was kind of around 10 or 11. Howard was around 8. Yeah. Was that the same thing as yesterday?
I'm so happy about it. I was literally just about to bring this up. We're on the same wavelength here, Tom. The time on ice distribution yesterday was actually pretty good. I was pretty surprised. The lowest time on ice guy for the Oilers yesterday was Curtis Lazar at 10 minutes and 21 seconds. So it was like I had no problems really. Like, I mean, Connor played 22-25. Draisaitl played 22-20. I think you'd still like to lower them, but just a tad. But honestly, like, yeah, the lowest guy playing 10-21, I was pretty satisfied by it. It was more, Joaquin and Hernan brought up the point of how Chris Knobloch won't pull back on top guys even when they're not playing well. And there was that Bouchard mistake on the power play yesterday. They were more pointing out was, how does a top power play unit not get pulled off after that mistake? Like, how does that not, or even just Bouchard get pulled off after that mistake? That was their biggest criticism. I agree with them. Like, how does the second power play unit not just get the look after that? Like, that was an embarrassing power play. You need to pull them off after that. But 5-on-5, at least, the time on ice distribution was really good. I was very happy with like Savoy's minutes, playing 14:34 yesterday, which is pretty solid. And obviously, it seems like it's working for seeing from the coaches, because he's getting a power play 1 look tonight, which is which I'm excited about, because I think he deserves it. So I was actually pretty pleasantly surprised with their time on ice, even though it didn't lead to the result I think they wanted. I was
definitely not.
Yeah.
Nice summary, Benny. I like that very, very much. Nicely done. Okay, Cass is going to be hopping on right away here for Game Changers. We're live on location, Boston Pizza, Clareview. Come on down, join us. Lots of great game day specials. Obviously, you can see the TVs behind me. Football in full swing. The 11 o'clock games are they're at halftime now for the most part, or creeping into halftime. I got the Bears and Saints here. The Bears absolutely just dummying Saints 20-0 right now. Eagles up 14-6 on this other huge TV over the Vikings. And then I see the Browns are up big on Miami. Wow. Okay. And then, obviously they'll have the Oilers game on here. There's a monster screen that they have right at the middle of the lounge, and it's filling up. Cal in the Park's here, and I see the Combine crew is going to make its way down here. It's great. Come say hi. We're going to have some giveaways. Jason, owner of BP Clareview, and Lisa hooking those up. So come on down. We're going to have a lot of fun. Get your cactus cuts for just $6.50. I love those. Touchdown tie, $12.50. You want nachos? $14. That's a great deal. Or if you like the fried pickles, they're called the End Zone Pickle Wedges here at BP Clareview. $9.75 dollar off Budweiser draft, and then $1 off Bud Light and Budweiser bottles, $7 Budweiser draft. Okay, we're going to get Cass in here. Text us 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well. Let's bring in Matt Kassian, our game analyst. Good afternoon, Cass. How are you, sir?
Good afternoon. I'm good. I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Awesome. I'm gonna chow down on some BP. I'm gonna hang out. People are gonna come by.
What are you going with today? What's the chow down option from BP's today?
Well, I had a chicken parm yesterday after the game, so I'm not doing that again. I feel like I've had a lot of pasta lately, so
you know what?
We'll switch it up.
I'm always partial to the steak sandwich there. Yeah, I'm always partial to the steak sandwich. It's always like it's going to be good every time. Like, it's a solid little steak. You can get some fries. You can mix in a salad if you want instead. And I feel like I'm quite familiar with BP's at this stage in my life, because they got the kids mode on lockdown.
Yes, they do.
Pizza. Lockdown. Lids for the sippy cups. Great kids menu. The kids absolutely love it. It always feels like such a treat for them, and it is when we go. And that's usually my go-to. It's like I know I don't even have to look at the menu, and I'm like, I'm getting the steak sandwich because I know I like it.
Yeah,
it's good. And if you don't need something too heavy, Tommy, that's my recommendation. You can mix in a salad with it. So it's if you went with the heavy parm yesterday.
Yes, I did. You know what, Cass? It's the New York steak sandwich. I might actually have that. I was kind of craving a steak last night, but I was like, no, chicken parm. I'm starving after the game. And so I might take your recommendation up on that one. So good call. Okay, I told Benny, and like you and I weren't on the pre- and post-game show yesterday. Benny with a good description of what happened yesterday in Jersey. It looks like just this general malaise to this group this week, Cass. What the hell?
Yeah. Well, that's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like what? Like what? Why? What's going on here? And why is it just sagging? Don't tell me it's a time zone. It's not the time difference.
You've been there for a week.
It's not like this was one game. Like, we've seen it kind of game after game here. So it's what the heck? Indeed.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's dive into it with Game Changers with our game analyst, Matt Kassian. Game Changers is always brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting, consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 18 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Check him out. DamonBunting.com. Visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Cast numero uno. Get in sync.
Well, Connor McDavid has talked about being out of sync, being out of sorts, not being able to connect. Kind of important for this group to find a way to do that, top to bottom. Power play, penalty kill, 5-on-5, and maybe more so the 5-on-5 and the power play in particular. But oh boy, got to connect here, fellas. Like it has been out of sync. There's been too many big errors. There's been too many large mistakes, and as you guys have already pointed out, like just a general sense of malaise, like where they're just not executing, and the momentum just isn't there. And they've had little moments of it, but they just haven't been able to play like we kind of expected or hoped they would. And we know they're a slow team to start the season. We've seen that the last couple of years, and after games 1 or 2, we thought, oh, maybe they won't be the case this year, but they've just kind of settling into it phase, and need to bust through that, guys. So yeah, I mean that's just such a big thing today, is just finding a way to actually have some of that chemistry and actually have some of that feel to the game, because it was like I went out with some buddies late last night. I was able to go play some pickup. It's the first time I skated in like 6 months. And yeah, I was a little off. And yeah, you couldn't feel the puck quite well because I hadn't skated in 6 months. The time for those post-camp jitters and getting into the real games is over. Like, you had a couple games to settle in here. Like, come on, guys, let's find a way to connect with some line mates here.
Get and say, Benny, you want to chime in there?
Yeah, I was. It's a great point, Cass. Yesterday, it's funny. This one play, I think, summed up the entire game yesterday. That Bouchard mistake where he doesn't go all the way in and go grab that puck. Before that, Draisaitl and McDavid, Joaquin and Hernan were pointing this out, and we were dying laughing at this situation. They were passing it back to each other while skating towards each other in the corner, which led to the turnover, then led to that whole play where Connor Brown ends up scoring on the PK. Like, it's just a great point where it's just like they're clearly not in sync. They're clearly their chemistry is off right now. Amongst pretty much all the lines, there hasn't really been a line that's gelled, and you're like, okay, that is a line we can stick to. Yeah, it is. It's weird right now because you would think, there's some turnover, but the guys that have been there for a while now, you would think that it should come naturally, and it isn't right now. So they're fighting it quite a bit, and I don't know. Eventually, I think it will change here, and probably, who knows, maybe today. But yeah, wasn't very good yesterday.
Red Wings 4-1 so far this season. Edmonton 2-1. So get in sync, Cass says, for point number 1 of Game Changers. Number 2, Cass, deployment.
Yeah, this is a coaching one today. I mean, we're kind of hitting that point, and I know you had just pointed out, and Benny, you went through like the minutes and the not surprise, but maybe pleasantness that McDavid and Draisaitl played a little less, and I think that's coming into the back-to-back. They wanted them to play a little bit less. They still played a lot.
Yeah,
they still played a lot. Right. And I have concern at this early point in the season, the amount that they're playing. And we had talked a couple times early in the season about and even preseason, I guess, and maybe that was more on 2 guys and a goalie, not yet on the oil stream. But we talked a lot about not playing McDavid and Draisaitl on the penalty kill. But it seems like they're playing a lot on the penalty kill.
They're
and not
starting
just
PKs.
Starting PKs. Not at the end. Like, I get at the end of a PK, if there's 20 seconds left, sure. I get if you're down a goal and it's like late game and you want to try to jump for a shorty, sure, totally get it. But guys, they've been eating up penalty kill minutes too, and it does a couple things, I think, to the rest of the lineup. It doesn't, like, guys that don't play a ton 5-on-5 get into any kind of a rhythm, because now they're not even going out for any kind of special teams on the penalty kill. So it's like, okay, well, I'm only getting 5-on-5 shifts, and I'm just going to sit there the whole time. And those stretches, Tom, you had pointed out the other night where you're sitting 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 minutes, or you're sitting 6-7 minutes and then there's an intermission and then you're sitting 2 or 3 or 4 minutes before you're back out there. And then, all of a sudden there's a power play. So you're sitting another 2 minutes and all of a sudden it's been 30 minutes since you've actually stepped on the ice for a shift. That's really hard to get in any kind of a rhythm for offense or defense or anything. And I'm beginning to just have some concern around that as a team, and for Knobloch to maybe get a little bit more consistency with the deployment and maybe get a little bit more consistency with the blender. And I know that there's times, there's situations in games, you're going to switch things up, you're going to move things around. But we just talked about them not gelling and not seeing like it's cohesive. Maybe stick with the group for a couple periods and see what we have. Like let them actually work through things, good and bad, right? Like don't disregard it after 10 minutes. Don't regard it too much after 10 minutes. Like just wait and see a little bit here. And I do just want to see what we have in some of these players. So rely a little bit more on some of the other guys. Let the penalty killers penalty kill. Keep David and Draisaitl off the ice. And listen, you ask those guys, they're going to want to be out there for it because they want to be on the ice all the time. They're some of the best players in the world. They want to play. They want to be the guys. They want to be out there every situation, every second. Like they wouldn't come off the ice if they, if energy-wise they didn't have to. They would just stay out there for the entire game. That's the type of players they are. And so it's on the coaching staff, I think, to monitor and regulate that and to actually get a little bit of a better sense of where the guys are at and whether, even if your best players aren't having the night of their lives, of knowing, okay, we need to put some other people out there in some situations to try to get them going and to get everybody involved. So I think it's a big thing. It's something we're seeing more and more often. You look at the minutes of everyone played from a season standpoint, McDavid and Draisaitl at the absolute top, and it's not close in terms of minutes played. And even with that, guess what? The Oilers offense, especially 5-on-5, is completely dry. So maybe dial those guys back a little bit so they have more jam when they're on the ice and spread out this offense a little bit more, or spread out the minutes rather a little bit more in order to try to get that offense going.
Guys, serious question. And I've accepted Chris Knobloch's method of jumbling up the lines when he feels like things aren't going well or to his liking, and that seems to be pretty much every game. And there has not been a game this year. I know it's only 5 games into the season, but tell me if I'm wrong. There's not been a game this year where the lines that started the night finished the night. Not even in the wins, right? Am I making stuff up here?
Cassie, I'll let you go here first. I gotta gather my thoughts.
Sorry, have I touched a nerve?
Maybe.
I think you got Benny's nerve here. I just kind of want Benny to go. Benny, just tell us what you feel, because I want that raw reaction.
I mean, like, I was, when you saw Knobloch in the playoffs last year with this juggling of lines, he looked like a genius, right? Like he looked like he was every change he made was great and all that stuff, and good on him, right? But like you were saying, Cass, I'm a big believer in like just you got to stick through the good and the bad with some guys, right? Like when you have guys that are trying to sink their teeth into not even just maybe the NHL, but also just with their line mates. Like, Ike Howard's getting moved up and down lineups, Savoy, Tomasek, even got new guys. Like Frederick wasn't fully himself last playoff, and I think he's starting to get there. I've liked his game more and more as the season has gone on. I just think it benefits them a lot when they play with the same guys. And so I've always kind of disagreed with Knobloch's way of going about it, about how it just like, if something's just not working, all right, switch it, like just go. Like sometimes you just got to let it ride out a little bit. That's where I disagree with Knobloch, but obviously I'm not an NHL head coach, so who am I to say that I'm right and he's wrong? But it's just, I don't love his juggling at all. If once again, if you've stuck with these lines for 3 games and you're down late in a game, fine. But I don't like the juggling at all. That's leave it there.
Yeah, I completely understand. And who are you? You're Ben Thompson. That's who you are. You're allowed to have an opinion and you're allowed to disagree. Doesn't matter if you're an NHL coach or not. I think the point of, he made great lineup decisions from a playoff standpoint. Yes. That's also a little different. Like pulling guys in and out of the lineup is a little different than how you're handling your lines in game.
Yeah.
It's a little different. I would say it's concerning that you haven't had a game yet this season where you have not switched the lines. Now, how much of that is on Knobloch and how much of that is on the guys just not executing and playing? I mean, that's the rub, right? Like that's where you're trying to figure out, okay, is it just because guys aren't going? And if they were going, he wouldn't have to try something different. He'd just run with it if they allowed him to. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what you're trying to suss out with it is like, okay, well, how much of it is it Knobloch just changing things just to change them and it's throwing everyone off? And how much is it guys actually really struggling and him going like, this guy isn't going. I need to move someone around here. Mm-hmm. And so it's always a little bit of a balance, I think, to it from a coaching standpoint. But my concern is it hasn't happened yet where you've been able to run a full game. And it's different, I think, later in the season when you've had the opportunity throughout the course of the season to try different pairings and groups and lines, and you kind of know what you have already in all the players. Because then it's like, okay, you're reverting to something that you've seen before, it's worked in this situation, and you go back to it. But early on, I'm just like, you don't even know what works and doesn't work because everything's all over the place. So I would like to see a little bit more continuity if possible. That being said, it's like, the players still got to, regardless of who you're out there with, you got to find a way, right? Like you got to find a way on the ice, and the players haven't found a way so far.
Couple of texts via the nasty chat. Supersize Indiana Jones Big Uke says, Vancouver, they stuck with the lines. No, and I replied with, I think that might have been the one time. Obviously, they played a good game last weekend. And then Uke said, lines stayed the same and they played the best. Funny how that works. Yes. I find it
that
very
game. There was no need to change the lines. Right, like
right. They controlled that whole game.
They came out hot. They came out with pressure, and they carried that pressure throughout the whole game. So there was no need to change them. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I see what Cass is saying about that. It's when they start, sleepy. Okay, all right. Now Chris is going to change them 5 minutes in. It was funny yesterday on the pregame show. We asked the listeners to text in at how long do the lines stick together? Like how long do they last? And the answer yesterday was 9 minutes and 40 seconds. Well played. So we kind of expected those lines to change as they do, and they certainly did yesterday, and probably will happen again today. So,
all right, it's Game Changers with Matt Kassian, our game analyst. Game Changers, as always, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Number 1 was Get in Sync. Number 2 is Deployment. That ended up being a prolonged discussion about lines and changing them all the time. Number 3, Energy, Cass.
Just bring it, malaise. Softness, quiet, slowness, turkey hangover, whatever we want to call it. It's just been there this whole road trip. It's dragged them down this whole road trip. So guys, let's just bring it. Just bring some jump, bring some energy, some light, some fire. Now I will say, your dogs got to be dogs. Trent Frederick has to find a way to, if no one's going, he's got to find a way to do something physical to bring people into the game. Your young players got to find a way to bring other people into the game. Like your defenseman, Darnell Nurse has to find a way not to take a bad penalty, not to make a turnover, but to do something, again, physical or start a scrum or something to bring people into the game. They haven't had that energy and that fire, guys. We want to see it. We want to see the life. We want to see that game where we just know from the drop of the puck where we watch and we're like, oh yeah, they're in this one today. And they just play it right through. That energy hasn't been there. Guys, there's no excuse. There's no time change excuse. It should just be game on, ready to go. You want to see energy today, Tom. I just really want to see it from the Oilers.
Cass, give some of your energy to the Oilers. My goodness.
Hey,
you went guns a blazing there. I really like that. I was kind of chuckling to myself. That was really well done. Shout out to Garen and Brody from the Combine crew who are here at BP.
Heck yeah.
Clairview. It is Game Changers with Cass, who's fired up now. We just got him more and more irritated as we ran through the segment. And Benny Thompson back at EST Global HQ. We do have lines, guys, so I'm going to fire those your way while we have Cass on. It's from Stoff watching warm-up at Little Caesars Arena. You got McDavid between Draisaitl and Mangiapane, so that line reunited. Nugent-Hopkins between Podkolzin and Roslovic. Philp with Frederick and Kapanen on his wings. Henrique back at center with Howard and Savoy. So the old dog with the two young pups on his wings. Ekholm with Bouchard, Nurse with Stetcher, Kulak with Emerson, Wallman taking warm-up. Bob has him listed as the 7th, and then Stu Skinner starting. Just quick reaction to going back to Draisaitl McDavid with Mangiapane, Nugent Hopkins, Roslovic, Podkolzin, and then third and fourth line, make of it what you will. Cass, go to you first.
How many minutes?
You don't seem happy.
5 minutes, 6 minutes. I'm not unhappy. I'm like, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 2.5 minutes, 30 seconds, like 9.5 minutes, like 10, like what's, Benny, are you giving us an over under on our change here?
I'll set it at like 7 minutes over under.
7 minutes. There we go. Over unders at 7 minutes. 7 minutes, everybody. So, I mean, I hear the lines and I'm like, I don't even listen to half of them because I'm like, okay, well, that's just going to change in about 10 seconds. So it's really hard to say that. I mean, hey, listen, you're going to get a look. I hope there's some players that play complimentary here, but we just don't know if this is what it's going to be. So I'll wait until after the game. So ask me that after the game, how I feel about the lines and how they were set up.
Yeah, that's bang on. That's these
Benny?
lines. These lines are they're whether you agree or disagree with how great they are or how bad they are. Like it's going to probably change. And one power play goes this way or a penalty kill. Okay, and now all of a sudden, it's Savoy going on with McDavid and Draisaitl because Mangiapane was just out there for a long power play on power play 2 or whatever, right? Like they're gonna fill in and try to spread out ice time, which I thought they did decently well yesterday. But yeah, if they stick to these lines throughout the whole game today, then we can I think talk about okay, well I didn't like this line because of this dynamic, right, or whatever. But right now, the over under is set at 7 minutes.
I love that. On the flip side, you got Daniela Bruce reporting that Lucas Raymond is back. So I'll give you guys the lines for the Red Wings. Ansar Khan also putting these out there. He covers the Wings and is on the beat. So Larkin between Finney and Raymond. Casper with DeBrincat and MBN. If you're like, who's MBN, Tom? That would be Michael Brandseg Nygaard. Third line, Kopp with JVR, James Van Riemsdyk, and Rasmussen. And then JT Compher with Mason Appleton and Jonathan Bergeron. On defense, Sherratt with Sider, Edvinson with ASP. Oh, my goodness. ASP being Axel Sandin Pelika. And then Johansson with JBD. And, of course, that is Jacob Bernard Docker. Cass, you're a big fan of Bernard Docker, right?
Yeah, I am a fan of Bernard Docker. I think he's found a good fit here in Detroit so far. He's a good young defenseman. Mm-hmm. Alberta boy, too.
Alberta, baby.
Yep.
Yes. John Gibson between the pipes for the Red Wings. K-Cass, I want to fire a question your way from the inbox. Came in from Coach Mike. I want to know what you think about this one. It says, honest question, guys. Is there a market for Darnell Nurse? Are there teams that would have an interest in acquiring him? Or is this something the Oilers wouldn't even entertain? No movement clause next season and a modified no trade clause for the final 3 years of his deal. Coach Mike. Yes.
No. No. Like where maybe you could find a team that would be interested, but you trade Darnell Nurse, you got to find Darnell Nurse. Like who are you going to replace him with? Right? Is there anybody waiting in the wings that's ready to step in Bakersfield? That's at that. Like
the answer is no.
Yeah, the answer is no. So no, you're not going to trade him because you can't replace him. You're trading 1-for-1 for a player that improves your team, that makes you instantly better, of a player that's better than Darnell Nurse. Well, sure, yeah, you're going to look at it, but no team's going to do that right now. So no. As much as you'd like to say, hey, we could try to get exact same Darnell Nurse at $2 million less, it's not going to happen. Yeah. So quit worrying about it. Quit talking about it. Quit thinking about it. He's not going anywhere.
You can dare to dream, though. Dare to dream. I think in a perfect world, he just plays better and more consistently.
Yeah. Well, he was solid last year.
Yep. Yeah, he was.
Yep. He was rock solid last year. Like he had a solid season. Last game, he wasn't great. But listen, I'm not worried about Darnell Nurse at this point. I'm worried about guys scoring goals up front. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point. Cass, I really enjoyed your fire this afternoon on Game Changers. Thank you for bringing it today.
No, you're welcome. It's just It's Benny's fault. He got me all fired up.
Way to go, Ben.
Sorry, guys. Entertaining radio. My bad.
Yeah, no, that was wonderful. I enjoyed it. Okay, Cass, enjoy the game. Have a nice hearty lunch, and we'll talk to you on the post-game show.
Sounds good.
There you go. There's Matt Kassian, our game analyst with Game Changers, brought to you by Damon Budtig Real Estate. Tom Gazzola, Ben Thompson with you here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. I'm live on location. Boston Pizza, Clairview. Lots of football happening. Starting to fill up. Good crowd. Come say hi to Lisa and Jason and myself. Combine crews here. Cal in the Parks here. Hopefully, I think my dad's on his way. He wants to come and hang out as well. Game day menu. You've got the triple play. That's with the Bandera bread, cactus cuts, and then the Thai chicken bites all on one plate. The end zone pickle wedges, so fried pickles for $9.75, fried wings for $8.75, and then they have sides for really good prices like sweet potato fries $5, Bandera bread $7, cactus cuts $6.50, touchdown Thai bites $12.50, and then if you want some nachos or chos as the cool kids call them, $14. And then if you're looking for something to wet your whistle, you could get a $7 Budweiser pint, and then $1 off Bud Light and Budweiser bottles. They also have $7 signature cocktails, the Quick Spike, the Citrus Blitz, and the Tiki Touchdown. All available here at BP. I think I'm going to follow up on what Cass recommended in the New York steak sandwich. It sounds really, really good, actually. So come on down. Also, there's going to be some prizes. Jason said they're going to have some prizes available throughout the game today, and you can also enter to win a trip to a 2026 NFL game. So lots of great prizing here at Boston Pizza. Also, Lisa called out Sean Bell, and she says she wants him to come down here when she's off shift, and I think she wants to see who would win in a beverage consuming contest.
Ooh.
Or maybe they would just chirp each other while watching a sporting event of some sort, and I think Belsey would be up for the challenge.
That's a Belsey alley. Yep.
Yeah, Belsey, if you're listening. Although Belsey would probably be in Lloyd today. Yeah. He's coaching his team, and they have Zach with him, calling the play-by-play for them. How do you think that's going?
Oh, probably fantastic.
Yeah.
Zach's not short of words.
Talk about energy.
Yeah. So I'm sure he's calling the play-by-play pretty good. I was dying laughing hearing him try to negotiate his per diem down in Lloyd. I found that pretty funny. But
what did he give us a little sample if you're willing to?
He was just like,
does he drive a hard bargain?
No, it wasn't like it wasn't necessarily like a number. Like he was kind of just like, so in the classic Zach voice, just like do I get a per diem? And Belsey goes, what? He goes do I get like my food paid for and stuff? Belsey goes, yeah, we could probably do that. Like he goes, okay, well, yeah, I was just asking, because, and then he goes on his like 5-minute tangent about how.
That sounds a lot like Zach. Just asking because and then you walk away and he's still talking to the wall, and you're like, I still talking.
He's still going.
No. All right. Well, hopefully they're having a good time in Lloydminster. Okay, we've got to get to the. I'm laughing at that. We need to get to Game Day Odds Check, brought to you by our good friends and proud partners from Play Alberta. Play in Alberta stays in Alberta, safe and secure. Revenue generated from Play Alberta redirected into Alberta's General Revenue Fund, which is used to support programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. Let's get those teachers back in action. Pay them. Let's make sure they're taken care of and making sure that our kids are getting a good education. All right, you can get the $50 free bet if you deposit $50 with promo code EST50. There's also promo code EST Casino. That's a $50 deposit, and that gets you a $50 casino bonus. And then if you punch in EST Sports in the promo code section, that's a $50 free bet with a $50 deposit. I hit that earlier this week. I think it was the early bird special that Dusty put out, McDavid power play point. He got it on Long Island. So cha-ching. Thank you very much, Dusty. The money line today, Edmonton favorites at -133, Detroit at +113. Over under set at 6.5 for today's game. The over at 106. the under at -141. So they're anticipating not a ton of goals, or at least under 7. So I wouldn't mind seeing a lot of goals, but I think for the sake of everybody, sanity in oil country, probably better if the Oilers get most of those goals.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not like an over for the goal total, but a high amount of goals for the Oilers. That'd be nice. But I don't know.
That would be a wonderful evening for us if that happened.
But I don't think I don't know. It just seems like the Oilers don't have that scoring touch right now, and so I don't know. We'll see if that changes today. But at least the Oilers' goaltending's been good to keep them in games. So I don't know. We'll see if that changes today.
Pleasant early surprise. The goaltending has held up its end of the bargain. That's nice to see. Hopefully that continues. Maybe the defense locks it down a little bit. No stupid blunders, self-inflicted wounds, all of that. We don't like that. Let's go to this text from the text line. It says, I get changing the lines of one of the players if one of the players is having a real bad game. But like you guys are saying, the coach needs to keep them together to create that chemistry. And really, I mean, we were joking. The one game, as Big Uke pointed out, Vancouver, where they basically stuck together. And that was a very thorough game, complete effort, best game of the year for the Oil, and they got the result in that one. Sloppy at Madison Square Garden on Tuesday. They still won that one 2-0, got great goaltending. Sloppy again Thursday night at UBS Arena against the Islanders. They lose that one in regulation, and then sloppy again yesterday for the majority of the game, and the New Jersey Devils take advantage. So clean it up, baby. Clean it up. The Red Wings are playing good. You're going to have to be sharp. You're on the road. You're in a back-to-back situation for the first time this season. Get some good goaltending. Don't second-guess yourself in the middle of making a play.
Yep.
And then have some finish. So we'll see if the Oilers can pull that off this evening. Benny, any thoughts or any texts you want to get to before I rattle off the lines again?
Not a whole lot. There was a point that Cass made with on his third game changers. And it was bring energy, and he mentioned trying to bring this team in physically. I'm pretty sure this was last year. I just had a random memory where there was a stat where I think if the Oilers had a fight in their game, they went on a crazy streak or something. They won 6 or 7 games in a row.
Yes,
or something.
Yes, they did. Last year they did.
And obviously it's kind of a coincidence, but at the same time though, it shows when they were physically engaged and when they were brought into the fight, kind of, that was a pun there, they won games. And so I'm not saying you got to fight a guy today if you're on the Oilers, but let's see a little bit more on that physicality. I really agreed with Cass's point there. There was a little bit. There was a good sample size of that last year that showed that the Oilers won more games when they were more physical. So I'd like to see that again.
I really liked you getting Cass pissed off or fired up. Yeah. I thought that was great.
Yeah. And he let me go off on my point too with the juggling.
Look at you guys.
Look at this.
Oh, finding that chemistry early. Look at that. We're keeping you together, and you guys are building chemistry.
Crazy.
What a novel concept. Yeah. Okay, here's your lines for the Oilers one more time. This is from our good friend Bob Stauffer. McDavid between Draisaitl and Mangiapane. Nugent-Hopkins with Podkolzin and Roslovic. Philp between Frederick and Kapanen. So Philp getting back into action. And you got Adam Henrique between the two young guys. Ike Howard also returning to the lineup. He'll be on the left side. And then you have Matt Savoy on the right side of Henrique. On defense, Ekholm with Bouchard. Nurse with Stetcher. Kulak paired up with Emerson. Jake Wallman took the warm-up. Stu Skinner starts in goal, and then we'll go to Ansar Khan, who had the Red Wings lines. A lot of hyphenated names in here. Larkin between Finney and Raymond. Casper between DeBrincat and MBN. Again, MBN would be Michael Brandsegg Nygaard.
There you
go. There you go. And then James Van Riemsdyk and Michael Rasmussen, flanking Andrew Kopp. JT Compher between Mason Appleton and Jonathan Berggren. And then you got Ben Sherratt with Mo Sider. Edvinson with ASP. That would be Axel Sandin Pellikka. Then you have Albert Johansson with Jacob Bernard Docker. John Gibson starting in goal for the Red Wings. All right, final thoughts from you, Benny.
Just, man, better effort today. Please. Can we not go through this all over again in like 3 hours where we're sitting here going, what's going on with this guy? Why is this guy not playing better? Please, can we just have a good effort today and just
That'd be lovely.
Watch a team play well, have no really complaints at the end of the game, and just be like, you know what? They played better. They woke up in Motor City. That's what I'm hoping for. Will it happen? Probably not. And we'll I guess we'll see in a couple hours here. But I'm looking at this leadership group. Please, this is you guys. Lead this crew. Bring them into the fight. And I'm expecting a big game from those big guys that get paid the big bucks. So thoughts.
Very well done. Very, very, very well done. Let's see if the Oilers can stop this 2-game slide as they take on the Detroit Red Wings. We're going to be here at Boston Pizza Clareview. Come on down. It's going to be surprising. You can take advantage of game day specials, food, and beverages, of course. Great vibe here. Huge TV. You can see it over my shoulder over that way. It is a monster-sized TV. Lisa, Jason say, come on down. We've already got the Combine crew, good chunk of them here. Brody and Garen, and then Cal in the Parks here. My dad's going to show up, and we're going to have some fun here at BP Clareview. So good to be back down here for the pre- and post-game show. So without further ado, that's going to be it for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Big thank you to everybody who listened. Big thank you to everybody who watched. We appreciate you. And let's see if the Oilers can get off the schneid here against the Red Wings. We'll be back live on location, BP Clareview, for the GCL Diesel post-game show following the Oilers and the Red Wings. For Benny Thomson and Matt Kassian, I'm Tom Gazzola saying enjoy the game. We'll see you in a couple hours.